Hello, everyone, and welcome to Storytime from the Angie W. Cox Public Library in downtown Partyville, Wisconsin. Today we are reading two stories. The first is Even Superheroes Have Bad Days, and the second is Even Superheroes Make Mistakes. Both are by Shelly Becker and illustrated by Eda Kaban. The theme for these stories is superheroes. Don't forget to stop into the library to pick up the crafts that go along with these stories. Enjoy! First, we have Even Superheroes Have Bad Days by Shelly Becker and illustrated by Eda Kaban. When superheroes don't get their way, when they're sad, when they're mad, when they have a bad day, they could use superpowers to kick, punch, and pound. They could shriek, they could screech with an ear-piercing sound. They could crush wooden crates and bend metal gates. They could throw trucks and buses across several states. They could knock over buildings like towers of blocks and crumble the streets into rubble and rocks. They could use laser eyes to ignite forest fires or fling boomerangs to deflate the town's tires. But upset superheroes have all sorts of choices. Instead of destruction and loud, livid voices, they burn angry steam off with speed of light hiking or super extreme outer space mountain biking. They race to the rescue of people in need and delight in the joy of a super good deed. They hatch super plans to banish world sadness, building fabulous theme parks for giggles and gladness. They chase wanted bad guys with supercharged zing, dragging hundreds to jail while the police dance and sing. They track down and tame super menacing beasts and transform pity parties to victory feasts. But displeased superheroes who don't feel serene could have super temptation to cause a bad scene. They could blast icy blizzards on hot afternoons or walloping twisters and monster typhoons. They could spin super webs super far, super sticky, and tangle up towns with their silk. Super icky. They could rotate the planet and mess up world time. Or sit back and relax while the world fills with crime. When superheroes don't get their way, when they're sad, when they're mad, when they've had a bad day, they could super rampage. They could, but they don't, because real superheroes just wouldn't. They won't. Instead, they dig down to their super best part, the strong superpowers contained in their heart, and using their talents as true heroes should, they battle the urge to do harm, though they could. They acknowledge their sorrow, their anger, their pain, as they wait for their super emotions to wane. It's okay if they frown, it's okay if they sigh, it's even okay if they slump down and cry. But then they get up and they get on with their day, saving the world in their most super way. And now we have Even Superheroes Make Mistakes, also by Shelly Becker and illustrated by Eda Kaban. When superheroes are not up to speed, when they slip up and trip up and fail to succeed. They could cry or deny or claim it's not fair, or rip off their capes and quit in despair. If they bake super cakes with way too much salt, they could shrug, "It was bakery bot, not my fault." If they bungle their speech at the hero convention, they could put on a light show, diverting attention. If they space out and nap the wrong guys without thought, they could choose to let bandits succeed with their plot. But ashamed superheroes who goofed up somehow, first stop and consider what's best to do now. If they wake late for boot camp the very first day, they invent an alarm clock that works right away. If last year they ruined the annual choir, they train screechy voices and learn to sing higher. If they didn't prepare any clean clothes to wear, they still polish their boots and spiff up their hair. But if superheroes can't take their errors in stride, they might look for a way to excuse, blame, or hide. If they bash through the planets while flying in space, they could claim someone's cape was obstructing their face. If they build a big bridge that doesn't sit right, they could blame and call names a supercharged fight. If their rescue attempt was not super clever, they could stock up supplies and hide out forever. When superheroes are not up to speed, when they slip up and trip up and fail to succeed, they could hang their heads down. They could, but they don't, because real superheroes just wouldn't. They won't. Instead, they remember perfection is rare, and they choose super ways to respond when they err. And using their powers, as true heroes do, they fix what they wrecked and apologize too. They fess up their mess up. They learn from their blooper. Responsibility, that makes them super. It's okay if they blush. It's okay if they quake. It's okay if they super regret their mistake. But then they get up and get on with their day, saving the world in their most super way. Thank you for joining us for this installment of the Angie W. Cox's Storytime. Don't forget to stop into the library to pick up the craft that goes along with these stories.